goats. Nice. We're here at Hildene at the goat farm, goat dairy.
Hi, welcome to the Hildene Goat Dairy.
Hi,
I'm Misty
thank
Hossley,
you.
the Goat Dairy Manager.
Hi, Misty. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Linda
to meet
and
you.
Johnna from Bennington Free Library.
It's very nice to meet you.
You too. Well, we have
Thank you for
lots of
having
books
us.
in our collection about farm animals, but some of our favorites are about goats. So we thought we'd come and read the Three Billy Goats Gruff and meet your goats.
Yes, well, thank you. Please come in and meet them. Come say hi. So these are our yearlings. These are our babies from last year. Everybody is 1 year old. We keep about 6 does every year to replenish our milking herd. And we start training them when they're very young. They're waiting in line now to go into the milking parlor to get their grain. And this is our first step in training them how to be milkers.
So Misty, how long have you been taking care of goats here at Hildene?
I have been here since 2013, and I actually started out as a volunteer. My husband and I bought a farm in Arlington, and we wanted something to help us with brush clearing. So I called Peggy Gallup, the manager at the time, and asked to volunteer, and she let me volunteer during kidding season, and I was hooked. So I volunteered for a short time, maybe only 2 weeks, and then I was hired as farm staff, and then I started managing in 2015.
Nice.
Yes.
So what is kidding season?
So kidding season is when the goats have their babies. So baby goats are called kids. So kidding is when they have their babies. A female goat is a doe. A male is a buck, and a castrated or altered male is a wether.
Is a what?
A wether.
A weather?
Yes.
Like the weather
so instead
outside?
of a steer, like
Oh,
a steer would
okay.
be a
Would be a
castrated
wether,
bull.
okay.
A castrated male goat is a wether.
Never heard
Same
that.
thing with a ram, like with the sheep. It would also be a wether. We
heard
do have a wether. He is a buddy to one of our breeding bucks.
Oh, okay.
Goats are herd animals. They cannot be alone. They have to have a buddy. So we never sell just a single goat. They always have to have a friend. So when we bought Wildside, he had to have a friend. So that's how we got Dreammaker
Oh,
also.
wow. Okay.
Yes.
So you have baby goats, and how many do you usually have in a kidding season?
So it depends on how many goats we breed. They usually have twins or triplets. So if we breed 15 goats, we could have 30 plus babies.
Okay.
Yes.
And you keep some every year and then give
Yes,
some
we
away
usually
or sell
keep
them?
about 6 of the doe kids, and then we sell everybody else.
Okay. And you sell them twos? You have to sell both of them?
Usually in pairs.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes more. Some people will take 4. Someone took 3 the other day.
Wow.
3 little boys for pets.
That's pretty fun.
Yes.
So when you originally got goats, it was to clear brush. So how did they help you do that?
So goats eat a lot of things that other animals won't eat. They really like thistle, rose bushes,
yeah.
burdocks, blackberry bushes, those kinds of things.
So they don't get hurt when they eat
Right.
things with thorns?
The way that their lips are and their tongues are, they can eat those kinds of things without getting hurt.
Oh,
Right?
very cool.
And they can make a really great quality milk and great quality meat off of poor forage.
Okay.
So that's why they are so popular in the Middle East, places like that where there's not lush grass, but they can really thrive.
Yeah. That must be
things
why
like
Heifer
that.
International sells goats as well as they provide goats.
Right, and they come up to weight a lot quicker than cows do, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Can you talk
Bait.
about their ears?
Yes, so these are Nubians. Nubians can come in any color and any pattern. The thing that is indicative to Nubians are their beautiful rounded noses and their long ears. They really don't like to have their ears touched. That is how they reprimand each other. So if somebody was eating someone else's food, she would tug his ear. Or pecking order kind of thing, she would bite the ear. A kid misbehaving, the mother would reprimand by giving him a little ear tug.
Wow. I
Yes.
didn't know that.
So they really don't like to have their ears touched.
But they like to be petted, just not their ears?
Right. So these guys are so friendly because of all of the time we put into them from the time they're born. We handle them as much as we can. We bottle feed them. The bottle feeding is really what makes them friendly. And we just give them a ton of attention every day.
Now, who is this?
This is Galaxy. She's
Galaxy.
very pretty. Her mother is Comet, who is in our milking herd. And hopefully Galaxy will have her babies for the first time next spring.
Nice. So did you name her Galaxy because Comet, they're
Yes.
both sort of
Okay.
Yes. So we
astronomical
have
names?
name lines. We try to name the kids somehow after their mother. So we have Eleanor. That's Eleanor Roosevelt. And then her daughter is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's Ruthie. Or yes, that's
The
Ruthie.
notorious RBG.
Yeah.
And then we have our Shakespeare line. We had Juliet, Beatrice, Rosalind, Viola, Ophelia, Tempest. Let's see. We have a candy line. We had licorice, Twizzler, Snickers, and we have Twix.
Twix?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's fun. It just helps us remember
Yeah.
them too.
Yeah.
Who goes with who.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. And this is Mariah Goodwin. She's my right hand.
Hi, Mariah. So she's taking them into the
Yes.
milking room?
Yes.
All right. Whoa, there they go.
So it takes us a little time to train them. This is all very new to them. It takes about a week to get them used to things. Once they have the routine, though, it's down.
Yeah,
It is their routine.
How long does it take to milk a goat by hand?
It really depends on the goat. It depends on their udder. So if they have really small teats, that's very difficult to milk. It's like you have to do one finger. It takes forever. We have a whole line, our love line, actually. They're all really nice hand milkers and really easy to milk. So it just depends on the goat and really on your experience, because it's a lot of this. So if your forearms aren't strong and your hands aren't
Right.
strong, it'll take you a lot longer.
Right.
You might have to take some more breaks.
Yeah.
And this is our milking herd. So these are all of the mothers.
Oh, wow.
And they range in age from 2 years old up to, I believe my oldest in here is 7. I think that's right. And this is Comet, that's Galaxy's mama.
Comet right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did Comet have new babies this year?
Did Comet
Did
have
Comet
babies?
have new
Yes,
babies?
she had
Okay.
2 boys.
Okay. So what are their, the boys don't get names?
Right.
Okay, because you don't keep them.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah. It'd be much harder to give them away if you
It
named
is,
them.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's a lot harder to give them away. And people like to name their own animals.
That is
you
true.
know?
That is true.
Do they come when you call them?
Some of them do. They recognize their names, but they all have a call. So if they were down in the field, I could call them and they would come to me. Same thing with the boys. They would come to me too.
Wow. Oh, hello.
Keep going.
Hello. Go. Pretty legs.
Going up the works. So these are our yearlings. These are our babies from last year. So this is how big they will be in 1 year.
Wow.
Yes.
So I probably held some of these last year when
Yes.
they came.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could not hold them now, I don't think. How much do they weigh?
So these guys are around 110 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So a typical full-grown adult Nubian goat is between 145 to 175 pounds. And then our intact males are about 250 pounds.
Yeah, and they're kept separately over.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that because they get Is it more just to not have more babies or more because they get?
Yes, so we can control the breeding.
Okay,
And who is bred to who, because we have a lot of daughters and granddaughters in
Yeah,
here.
so you have to, do you have
Yes.
to import?
We
other-
bring in a new buck every couple of years.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's interesting. On an average day of what you do, what is it that you do here at the goat dairy?
So we milk every morning we get here about 5:30 in the morning, feed any new babies that need to be fed, and then we milk the mothers. So these yearlings are all being trained how to milk. They're not
Okay.
being milked yet, but we start training them at this age, so it's easier and part of their routine when they are being milked. So we'll bring them through the whole routine, put them up on the milk stand, and that's where they'll get their grain morning and evening. And then after them, then the milkers come in. It takes us about an hour to milk the whole herd, and then another hour to do the cleanup from it.
Okay.
And then after milking, we do all the other farm chores. We feed the bucks, we clean out the barn. We do this every day. That's the first step to clean milk. It's a clean, healthy animal. So we want to make sure their bedding is always clean. And then we feed the babies every 4 hours. So that takes up a lot of our time, and washing all of the bottles. At first we hand milk all the mothers and bottle feed all of the babies. They usually have twins or triplets, so we need to make sure every baby gets what they need. Sometimes we have quadruplets, and that's a lot to ask for the mother to be able to nurse all 4 babies, so we often have to supplement for them.
Okay, so do you use other goat's milk, or do you use anything else?
If we have it, we'll use other goat's milk, or we'll
Okay.
use a goat-specific milk replacer.
Oh,
But
okay.
we always try
Yeah.
to use the mother's milk.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
And do you have goats that just sort of produce a lot of extra milk for?
Sometimes, so the
Yeah.
first 3 days, all of them, it's colostrum that the mother is
Yeah.
making. And sometimes she makes more than enough for her babies, so
Yeah.
we can freeze some
Oh,
if
okay.
we do have a doe who doesn't produce
Who
enough.
doesn't produce?
But
Okay.
then there are times when a doe doesn't produce any, so we'll have to use a replacer,
Okay,
a colostrum
that's
replacer.
Interesting, okay.
Do you milk some of the adults by hand, some by machine?
When
How do
they
you do
first
that?
give birth, when they first give birth, we hand milk the mother into bottles and then bottle feed the babies. And then after 3 days, then we'll put her on the machine, and her milk will go into the tank with the rest of the milk.
Yeah. So how do you get the goats from here to where you milk them?
So this is the first step. We bring them on this side.
Yeah.
And then we can, they're going to be confused.
You have a crowd following you.
And they know the timing of it too. They saw Mariah go down to feed the boys, so they know this is next.
Oh, okay.
And bringing them in here to separate them like
They think
this.
it's time to.
Yes.
Okay. that
So
makes
we
sense.
close this gate, bring them on this side, and then we can open this. Please get down. Talk about this.
Oh, hello.
To make the pathway. And then we open this door,
Oh,
and they go
wow.
up the ramp to get their grain.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
if
Yeah.
you'd like to, I can start the sanitizer, and you can actually film that, film
Yeah.
them going up there.
That would be
Oh
cool.
my gosh!
They know it's time. And then there's a ramp behind you too that will fold down, and that's how they get back out of the milking parlor.
That's that right there.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So let me back these guys up, and then I can separate them so you can see that whole thing. Back up. They know it's time. They're creatures of habit.
Well, yeah.
So these are the yearlings. And then, could you start the sanitizer, please? And then this is the milking herd here. So we're milking 15 this year. We still have one who is pregnant over there, the one talking to you. That's Ophelia, and she's due any day now.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
What a lovely Shakespeare.
Yes, we have a whole Shakespeare line, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So we have to run our sanitizer. That takes like 10 minutes. And then we bring them in for their grain, and then we start milking. These guys is brand new. So this baby is barely 24 hours old. And you can feel, if you touch right there, you can feel the little horn nubs start to grow.
Right there. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
So when you first start your herd, you have to decide whether you want horns or not. And if you decide you do not want horns, you have to take them off when they're very little, before it produces much of a blood supply or nerve supply. So we do that when they're about a week old.
Nice. So that's, and then they don't seem to have it. The little ones have.
And then I'll show you what it looks like here.
Oh no, it's a goat rush.
So let's see, where's my... So this little guy just did last week. So that's what it looks like. And the silver stuff is AlloShield. That is an antiseptic spray that we spray on it to prevent infection or flies, that sort of thing. And then let's find one. So this guy is one of my first. You can see how it's already healing over. The skin will just grow over. And then you can see on the yearlings, it grows. By the time they're about 2 months old, it's completely healed over. And everyone here has had that done when they were babies.
Okay, so that's why they don't have the.
Right.
They don't have the.
Go.
Yes.
And Mariah is bottle feeding. Can you catch that? She's gonna.
So these babies were just born yesterday, and we hand milk the mother so we can get the colostrum, and we bottle feed the babies for the first 24 hours as much as they want, as much colostrum as we can get into them.
So does somebody have to stay here pretty much for the whole 24 hours to make
Yes.
sure that they get fed?
Luckily, Mariah and Kara live on property,
Oh, nice.
so Mariah gets the night shift.
Oh, you're a good sport. Mariah, how long have you been working at the goat dairy?
I've been here 5 years, coming at the end of the month,
Wow.
beginning of June, 5 years. How'd that happen?
I know, right?
It's really cute. Do they all eat around the same amount, or are they very different in how much they want to eat?
So for the babies, we regulate it. When they're first born, we let them eat as much as they want, but then it's about 8 ounces every 6 to 4 hours, depending on their age and how much they're gaining.
Okay. Yeah.
And then like these big guys, they're getting about 10 ounces,
Okay.
3 times a day.
Great. And when do they start eating grain?
So as soon as they start nibbling other things, we start giving them grain and hay. So then they are nibbling on things they're allowed to have.
Okay.
And goats are ruminants. They have 4 stomachs, but when they're first born, there's only one that's working. And there's a little shunt in their throat that shunts the milk into that stomach. But once they start eating grain and hay, then that starts to develop their rumen and their other stomachs. And their feces starts to change when they start eating the regular food, and that's already happening. It looks like just tiny little pellets. And they're eating quite a bit. They have fresh water they can drink out of a bucket. They get about, I'd say, 3 pounds of grain a day, split throughout the day for about 30 babies. Wow. Yeah, and hay, free choice hay as much as they want.
Nice.
But it's not, they really don't eat that much hay and grain right now. Mostly milk.
Now, do you leave that's containing hay over there?
Yes. So they teach us really quickly what works and what doesn't work. Like they knock this feeder over, so it'd be a lot easier if we had the feeder on the outside and they had to put their heads through to eat it. We had some hay feeders that the babies were actually getting stuck in.
That's not good.
Right. And pulling, the mothers could pull the hay out. So these make it a little harder for them. The babies can't get stuck.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So we got these specifically for the babies.
That one.
Hello.
And we try to teach them when they're little not to jump on us because he's going to be 250 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's, yeah.
Whoa.
No. No.
Look at him. Is that a domination thing?
Yes.
Yes.
And our big boys were doing that the other day too. So we have to every once in a while reinforce it that we are
Yep.
the bosses.
Yep.
You may not jump on us. You can jump on other goats, but not on us.
That makes sense.
You
Yeah.
are naughty.
Really just a finger. Alrighty. Okay. Do we want to do the entrance?
The entrance?
Maybe.
Trip trap, trip trap.
It is like that. So the first time, do you have to? It looks like their heads go in and it automatically goes down. Do you have
Right.
to like help them get their heads in?
So we'll have like candy canes or bananas, and we'll like go in front of them and lure them down.
Do they like candy
So
canes?
they love them, love them. Candy canes and bananas, apples. One of she likes peanut butter cups. I was eating
I was
one,
gonna say, who doesn't?
and she like took it, and I was like, "Hey!"
And she ate it.
Yeah, she ate it.
Candy canes. That must be fun at Christmas.
That's how we train them. So we try to end everything on a good note. When we trim hooves, when we give shots, when we do anything like that, we give them a treat afterwards. We've taught everyone to come out that far door, get on the scale, stop on the scale for a moment, and then come over to their spot to get their hooves trimmed. So everyone knows when they come out that door, they go on the scale, wait, and then go get their hooves trimmed.
That's
And we did that all with candy canes and,
that's-
and bananas.
yeah.
It took us probably 2 months to train them all, but it was worth it, and now they all do it, and it's much easier.
Oh yeah, because then it's not a different thing when you have
Right.
them do that. So when they get
Right,
trimmed.
they know once a month this is what we're doing.
Okay, yeah. So are you the one that trims the hooves and stuff?
Yes, myself, and I've taught Mariah and Kara how to do it too. So that's a lot easier
Yeah.
now. Like everything's a little easier this year because it's Mariah and Kara's third year, so they know more and they're more confident too.
Yeah.
It's very physical.
Yeah.
It's
It's very physical.
You must be
Yes.
exhausted when you get home.
Yes. Yes. I do not have to go to the gym ever.
parlor.
No, no.
Well, those babies, so some of the ones that were born in the first couple weeks, they're already over 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And we have to pick them up and put them over
Yeah.
the fence multiple times a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is tough act to follow. She just needs a minute. And then she gets up there. But that's
Yeah.
every single time she comes in.
Does she always
just
come in
needs a
last,
minute.
or does she just
Yes,
do that one?
always
Okay.
last.
Interesting.
In the first group.
Yeah. Wow.
So, when
So-
we first start, we wipe off any shavings, anything like that. And then we also wipe off their udders with, this is an udder wash that she's using. It's an iodine-based wash. And again, that's just one more step to get any dirt or debris off of her udder.
So it's
we
like when you go
do-
to the doctors, they put iodine on
Right,
it. Yeah.
right. So we do every other goat. We can bring up 6 at a time. Then we do every other one until we have them all milked. So when we prep them, we do every other so that by the time we're done with that last one, the first one's ready to milk.
Oh, okay.
So we have to have the iodine on for a minute, at least a minute.
And that makes sense.
Yes. And then you want to dip all the way up to the base of the udder because as the milk is, as she's being milked out, the udder will deflate and then those inflations can go up more. So you want to make
okay.
sure that all of that skin is
yeah.
clean and
Yeah.
sterile.
Because otherwise it could get
Right.
up in the udders.
And then you can see a line on their udder. That's their, it's like a division in the udder. So there are 2 halves. So you really want to make sure that you don't mix the 2 halves. So you want a clean cloth for each side.
Oh, okay.
Because if she has mastitis in one side, it could be spread to the
want it
other.
to the other.
Right.
Oh, I didn't think about
So
goats getting
what
mastitis.
she's doing now is stripping the milk. So that cup has a little screen on it. And as you put the milk in, You can see if there are any chunks or any blood, anything like that. So if we see something like that, like chunky milk, we would do other tests. That is a big sign that there's mastitis or something. So we have several tests that we can do to determine whether or not she has that, and we always send a sample out to our vet too.
That makes sense. Yeah. Do you have a large vet, a large animal vet?
Yes, Bat and Kill Bovine is our veterinarian from Greenwich.
Oh,
And it's a all woman run team, which is really amazing. Melissa McMurray owns it. She's really fantastic.
You know, I've never met a male large animal.
Oh,
vet.
really?
Everyone I've met has been female.
Yeah.
They're all women.
That is kind of funny. And in the goat industry too, it's mainly women. Yeah.
wow.
I wonder why that is.
So it depends on the goat. How much milk she gives determines how long it takes to milk her.
So the milk is going up the tubes and then goes.
Yes.
Into a tank.
Yes. So in the next room, you can see that tank. So that's our cooling vat, and that cools the milk from 103 degrees, which is the goat's normal body temperature, down to 45 degrees within 15 minutes and keeps it cold. And we have to use the milk within 72 hours from the first milk in the tank. After 72 hours, we have to use it for something, either feeding it to babies or making cheese or feeding it to something.
Okay.
Otherwise, we can't, legally, we can't use it. That's just a regulation.
Well,
And
that
we are
makes sense.
inspected regularly by the state, by the USDA and FDA also.
Yeah.
Is it pasteurized?
This milk is not pasteurized. We pasteurize for our cheese. So in the next room is our creamery. And goat milk is very fragile. If we were to pump it in here, it would break apart the proteins and the fats, and then it would affect the texture of our chev. And our chev is very creamy and very
really good.
light.
Very delicious.
And if it's pumped in, it makes it kind of grainy. Or if some people freeze the milk because you can't make within that 72 hours.
Okay.
So they would freeze the milk and then try to make it, but it really affects the texture of the cheese.
Does it
So
break?
it's
Or
kind of like a
separate?
mealy, grainy texture.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, instead
Okay.
of that creamy, smooth
Yeah.
texture. So something that we do to prevent the pumping, we bring it in bucket by bucket. So 5-gallon bucket, we
Whoa.
carry it
That's
over.
very labor intensive, isn't it?
It is, but it's really the best. It makes the best cheese. Yeah.
Nice.
So we do everything here start to finish. We do the breeding, the kidding, the milking. We make the cheese, we package the cheese, we make the soap, and we package the soap. We use as many ingredients from Hildene property as we can in our soap. Our horticulturists grow lavender, rosemary, sage, all of the herbs that we use in our soap. And we also use the honey and beeswax from our own apiary here on Hildene property. Yeah, it's a real team collaborative to make all of this.
Well, I've had the cheese. I haven't tried the soap. I'll have to the next time I'm
Yeah.
here.
The cheese is very good.
And we do a lot of school groups here. So we have kids of all ages from pre-K. We have a lot of volunteers who are high school students. So we take volunteers from 12 years up. Sometimes we have parents who want to volunteer too.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of volunteers every day who come and help us make the magic happen.
Yeah.
And then we have one cheesemaker, our head cheesemaker, Peggy Gallup. She's also the original herd manager here. So the foundation for our herd came from her herd. So she was the herd manager and cheesemaker. She did everything here, start to finish, and helped to design this barn and this facility.
Wow.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Yeah. So this is where we package the cheese. Like I said, we do everything start to finish here. Our packaging room, and this is our aging cave. So hopefully by the end of the summer, this will be full of wheels of goat cheese that we'll be able to cut and wax and then have for sale throughout the winter.
Is there a typical amount that of cheese that is made here?
So
a year?
it really depends on the year and how many goats we have. So typically a gallon of milk will make a pound of cheese.
Oh.
And it takes, the minimum we can have is 16 gallons for pasteurization. It's just the size of our pasteurizer. Yes.
The Three Billy Goats Gruff by Paul Galdoni. Once upon a time, there were 3 billy goats. They lived in a valley, and the name of all 3 was Gruff. Do you hear that? There was very little grass in the valley, and the billy goats were hungry. They wanted to go up the hillside to a fine meadow full of grass and daisies, where they could eat and eat and eat and get fat.
Yes, that's what you want to do. Yes, it is.
But on the way up there was a bridge over a rushing river, and under the bridge lived a troll who was as mean as he was ugly. Don't be afraid.
It's okay.
First, the youngest Billy Goat Gruff decided to cross the bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap went the bridge. Who's that tripping over my bridge? Roared the troll. Oh, it's only I, the tiniest Billy Goat Gruff, said the Billy Goat in a very small voice, and I'm going to the meadow to make myself fat. No, you're not, said the troll. I'm coming to gobble you up. Oh, please don't take me. I'm too little, that I am, said the Billy Goat. Wait till the second Billy Goat Gruff comes. He's much bigger. Well then, be off with you, said the troll.
You escaped. Yes, you did. Smart Billy Goat.
A little later, the second Billy Goat Gruff came to cross the bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap went the bridge. Who's that tripping over my bridge? Roared the troll. Oh, it's only I, the second Billy Goat Gruff, and I'm going up to the meadow to make myself fat, said the Billy Goat, and his voice was not so small. No, you're not, said the troll, for I am coming to gobble you up. Oh, please don't take me. Wait a little till the third Billy Goat Gruff comes. He's much bigger. Well, be off with you, said the troll. Then up came the third Billy Goat Gruff. Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap went the bridge. The third Billy Goat Gruff was so heavy that the bridge creaked and groaned under him. Oh my goodness.
That's a big goat.
He's falling asleep. Who's that trapping over my bridge? Roared the troll. It's I, the big Billy Goat Gruff, said the Billy Goat, and his voice was as loud as the troll's.
What's going to happen?
Now I'm coming to gobble you up, roared the troll. Well, come along, said the Billy Goat. I've got 2 horns and 4 hard hoofs, and see what you can do. Uh-oh. So up he climbed, and he kicked that ugly troll off the bridge, and he tossed him over the bridge into the rushing water. Then the 3 Billy Goats Gruff went. The third Billy Goat's Gruff went up the hillside to join his brothers. In the meadow, the 3 billy goats gruff got so fat they could hardly walk home again. They are probably there yet. So snip, snap, snout. This tale's told out. And that is the end of our story of the 3 billy goats gruff.
Now, is that a good story? It was.
Oh my gosh.
Clever goats. Much cleverer than ogres.
Yeah.
So cute. What do you think? Oh, hello. You're so cute.
Oh, I love the sneezes. So cute.
Do they like dandelions?
They'll try them. They'll try pretty much anything. So they say that goats will eat anything. They're actually pretty picky. That's just how they explore. We explore with our hands. They don't have hands, so they explore with their mouths.
But they must like roses and thorny
Yes.
things then.
Yes.
Yep.
She's eating a dandelion.
They're chowing down. Oh, this is great.
Wow, that's pretty fast actually.
Yeah.
I think we've asked most of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've got it all.
Look at that. It's like a big goat talking in there too.
Yeah, she's calling to her babies.
Oh.
That was tough love.
Oh dear.
And they do recognize each other by their smell and their call. So the mothers have a call that is only for their babies. They never make it any other time. It's only to their babies.
When the babies are grown up, do they still do the same call to talk to them? Or is
No,
it
not when they're when they're grown.
just when they're babies.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of that motherese.
Yeah, it's very
Humans.
low and soft, and it's just to them. It's like a little nicker almost.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
Love it.
Do the moms and babies and their daughters hang out together more than with the other goats, or are they just kind of?
Sometimes, yeah. So sometimes they won't like recognize each other, but then other times they will, and they'll hang out together. Like
nice.
Comet and Galaxy do.
Yeah.
The Love Line, those guys all seem to hang out together.
So they're aptly named.
Yeah.
I love that.
We had, it was Want a Lot of Lovin', Love Bug, Tough Love. This is one of Tuffy's babies right here.
Oh.
Isn't that pretty with the little heart on her back?
Really cute.
So we'd like to know if you wanted to buy a goat, how would you go about that? Because we heard that you sell some of the goats.
We do sell some of the goats. First of all, you have to have 2. They are herd animals and they have to have companionship. So we definitely would recommend having them go as a pair. So for shelter, you have to have a barn, at least a small barn, so they can get out of the wind and the rain. Goats really don't like the rain or the snow, and that's how they can get sick. And at least, if you're going to have 2 goats, at least an acre of land, hay, fresh water, and grain too, and vet care. It's very important to have a really good relationship with your veterinarian before your goats are sick, so then they know what your healthy herd looks like, and then they're more likely to come out in the middle of the night when your goat is not healthy.
So you wouldn't take a goat to the regular vet, like that you would take your cat or dog to?
Not all vets will treat them. So even some large animal vets will not treat goats. Not all vets know about them.
Oh.
And goats, just within the last 10 years, there's been a lot of research. So they were treated like sheep, and they need a lot of different nutrients than sheep do. Goats actually need copper in their diet to help prevent parasites, and sheep develop a toxicity and will die from the copper. And then they were being treated like tiny little cows and being fed cow grain, but they can't possibly eat enough cow grain to get the nutrients that they need. So research has really come a long way just in the last 10 years. More goat specific nutrients and medications too. Neat. And more veterinarians learning about them.
I've heard that some people hire somebody to bring goats into clear land. What,
Yes.
you know, what would be the reason to do that instead of just like mowing?
Right. Well, like we talked about before, they eat a lot of things that other animals don't eat, and some things you can't get a mower in to eat. So brush.
That would make sense.
Like a
yeah.
brush
Right.
hog.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. These guys would be like a brush hog,
Oh, that would be fun.
essentially. So what those people do, they usually have a trailer that they bring the goats in, and then they have portable electric fencing. So they'll portion off an area and then let the goats eat that down, and then keep moving that along every day until it's gone. And they think everything's going to eat them. Goats are prey animals.
Oh, that was out of fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But then they get over it pretty
We're
quickly.
your friends.
So I see over here.
Bring them over to this barn. So this is our kid barn, and then they'll be over here until next winter. And then we'll bring them back here and acclimate them to the milking herd again. So it's kind of funny when we bring them over here, they're so scared because it's so much bigger and the grass is so much higher. So it takes them a minute to even get over to the play set. So it's a couple days. We go in there with them and hang out
play
with
with
them.
them.
Do they like to be up high? Because those look
They
pretty
do.
high for a goat.
Yeah.
So,
And they can jump really high just from this age.
yeah.
Well, I think Miss
Thank you so much, Misty,
This
for
has
having us
been
here.
Thank you
so
for coming.
fabulous. This has been so much fun. And we hope kids and families come up to Hildene and see for themselves
Yeah.
what goats are all about, and to meet some goat friends. Come to the library and read some books about farm animals, particularly goats.
And you can get a pass at your local library to come to Hildene and visit if you want to come and visit the goats.